Hello there, Lunar Squadron, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to our breakdown of the brand new IGN Fan Fest trailer. There is so much to get through here that we are, of course, going to do a series of videos breaking down everything from, you know, the new missions, the new locations, the new everything that we see in this trailer. However, right now we are just going to be doing with a broad brushstroke, kind of going frame by frame on this trailer and talking about, you know, things that Nick and I noticed as we were watching through this trailer. We've cut down all of the gameplay, and it's about 3 minutes to get through here. So, Nick, you ready to get through this thing?
Oh, I am so ready. I have like 4 pages of notes here. I'm ready to go. But guys, if you are new to the channel, we would love to have you as always, and the way to do that is just go down below this video, hit that little subscribe button, the bell notification right on next to it. It will notify you every single time Andreas and I upload these very extensive breakdowns for LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. We have so much Skywalker Saga content on our channel, so definitely consider checking that out and joining the Lunar Squadron. We think we have a good time. But, Andreas, I think the time is now to dive right into this complete breakdown because there is a lot to talk about. This is Lunar Squadron standing by. We are ready to make the jump to hyperspace. On my mark, Lunar Squadron.
I think the first new shot that we see from this trailer is this image from the Petronaki Arena of Kit Fisto, Ki-Adi-Mundi, and Mace Windu. Of course, you can see in the stadium there are a few lightsabers which are popping up as well. There's definitely a new shot there. And then this is like the money shot here, right? Like, this is where you and I kind of lost our minds, right?
Yeah, Max REBO, confirmed character. Let's go. And we get a nice little look at Sy Snootles right there next to him running in front. So we now know that Sy Snootles and Max REBO are confirmed playable characters in LEGO Star Wars Skywalker Saga. Again, we've kind of harped on this point a lot over the last few weeks, just how deep the character list is going to be in this game. And honestly, Sy Snootles, what else do I have to say? Like, if she's playable, who isn't playable? And then
you can like these guys, like whoever is playing this game is like orchestrating the Max REBO like band and then running throughout Jabba's palace. So like you can do whatever you want to do in this game, it seems like. And then I know, Nick, you were about to talk about that that chrome feature.
Yes, we also see in the background there is a chrome feature that is glistening. We've seen that in previous LEGO Star Wars games today. It's like one of those objects that you can blow up and there's usually something behind it, like a mini kit or some sort of loot. We see that a few times throughout this, I'm going to call it a gameplay trailer, throughout this gameplay trailer, and we'll just kind of point it out. And later on, we'll actually give you a theory about this exact type of object. But just want to point that out here in this opening shot.
The next shot that we do see is of one of my favorite moments throughout episode 3, and that is the showdown between Mace Windu and our boy Sheev. Also a brand new Sheev appearance, right? We do get to see Palpatine with his lightsaber, with the, you know, I don't think we've seen this appearance of Palpatine before, have we, Nick?
No, up to this point, we've really only seen him in his Emperor appearance. Like, we've seen Emperor Palpatine. We have not yet seen, at least in the gameplay trailers yet, this version from episode 3 of him being technically the Emperor, but like not yet, and it's him with his lightsaber, which is really cool. To me, the big thing here is just confirms that we'll be able to do that Mace Windu versus Palpatine showdown in his office, which is really cool. Very much looking forward to that.
And then the next new shot that we get is of Kylo facing off against Luke on Crate. Now, we've seen various shots of Crate before. In fact, we've seen shots of both Kylo and Luke, but we've never seen them, you know, hacking and slashing at each other here.
Earlier this week, we got a look at 10 appearances for Luke Skywalker. And one thing we were wondering was if that would be all of his appearances, and that's actually not the case. We get a look at a brand new appearance for Luke Skywalker. We did not see that in that 25-second shot that they dropped on Twitter where they showed off 10 different variations. So here is actually an 11th appearance for Luke Skywalker. It is his Showdown on Crate appearance. So there are more than 10. We know that for sure now because we did not see
there are
that.
going to be so many Luke Skywalkers in this game. We do see the Millennium Falcon kind of hightailing it from a few Star Destroyers here. Thankfully, they are the correct era Star Destroyer, right, Nick?
Yeah, no resurgent class Star Destroyers chasing him this time. Can I just say one thing about the cutscenes that I did notice actually in this trailer?
Is it that they weren't really framey?
Yes, there were not really frame rate issues with the cutscenes this time, which was really nice. That was one thing I immediately noticed, is that the cutscenes were actually running very smoothly this time.
Now, the next shot that we do see, which is undeniably gameplay, is from the Death Star sequence on Kef Bir. One detail that I did notice is there are a couple of Stormtrooper helmets kind of in the background, but then also, Nick, is it me, or am I seeing a ghost like legs of a Stormtrooper here?
I'm not quite sure what we're looking at there.
It looks like maybe it could be like, a little like TT like rewriting the story a little bit. You might face off against some Stormtroopers, and then that might be like the remains of a Stormtrooper like body that's kind of disappearing there, but not really sure what that is. Maybe the Death Star is haunted. Who knows? I think those are our only two options here. But
because then it kind of just disappears. So.
It does. So that's definitely one thing that I noticed there. And then there is this shot.
Which, oh boy. It's episode 2, episode 1, and episode 4.
So we do get to see what appears to be almost every single mission and pre-mission in those episodes. Now, Nick, do we want to like hit on a few key things here? And I just want to say, guys, we are going to be like releasing a video dedicated to this, if not a series dedicated to this. So we will be going in depth here. But Nick, if you just wanted to hit on some like key highlights here, I know for me it's like seeing the Jedi Archives and that new shot of the Oscura District was like, that sent me over the moon here. So I don't know if you had any things that you wanted to share.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing a complete deep dive breakdown into all of the missions in a separate video, but definitely just want to highlight some of the key things that we noticed here. Is we got a really good look at the composition of how missions will be played out, or how, I guess, episodes will be played out. So it appears that there will be multiple pre-missions that lead up to the 5 main story missions, and it looks like this is what they are going to do in an attempt to cover all of the plot and details from the movies. It really looks like they took a really big effort at covering as much of these films as possible, but it looks like it's going to be broken up into more pre-missions and then more main missions. 5 main missions, and then like a bunch of missions leading up to it. Don't know how in-depth that is going to be. I definitely want to look into this more and break that down, but it's really cool to get a look at all of the compositions for both episodes, or for all of episode 2, episode 1, and episode 4. They gave us 3 of the 9 films and exactly what their missions are going to be, so that is really cool. We also got to look at some new locations within each episode, which is really cool. So there's a lot here. We're going to break that down in a separate video, though. A lot of cool stuff, though.
Yeah, like you said, new locations. We got Watto's junk shop. We got like a few memes along the way, like with the mission called Now That's Pod Racing, new shots of Theed. Like, there's just so much to get through here, which we will get through on the channel. This is the point of this trailer that made me lose my absolute shit. It is the Jedi Archives. I've been waiting so long to get a look at inside of the Jedi Temple in this game, specifically the Jedi Archives, and you do get the close-up of, I believe it's called the Lost 20, the Lost 20 Jedi who kind of turned. You get to see their statues here, which is very, very cool. And there's just, it appears like there's so much information. You see these speech bubbles with the eye. Now, what this is kind of leading me to believe is that the archives are a place where you can pick up new information, such as, let's say you're looking at a portrait of what appears to be, Mace Windu here. Maybe the eye will give you some information about Mace Windu, maybe give you an insight as to maybe how you can unlock that character in the universe, where you can expect to find them. Also, one notable thing is you do see a Roman numeral VI 6 on the floor. Nick, any idea what this is?
No, I've seen some people float the idea that it could be like level selector, episode selector, but to me that doesn't make a ton of sense. You did mention the Lost 20, so perhaps it's just indicating which number that is of
Yeah,
the statue.
the 6th. Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like when you said the last 20, that was immediately what my mind went to, was that then they were just indicating that by number. So
whatever it is, guys, like, I am super excited to get through the Jedi Archives and learn all there is to learn throughout the galaxy here. I think that's just such a cool premise to see those information bubbles, that like the archives could be a place to go to kind of, you know, learn new things about the galaxy. It's very exciting. And then we get the shot of Kashyyyk, don't we, Nick?
yeah, and Kashyyyk looks huge. We see Yoda there in the background. We see Chewbacca using a little zip line. We see a Venator-class Star Destroyer, like, away in the back. Like, to me, the big thing from this shot was just, damn, this game is big. Like, Kashyyyk is big, especially if we can go over there. This is really cool.
And then we get to see one of the great mysteries on, you know, Nick and my part, which is how are we going to get to Ottagonga, or the Gungan city? And we do see here they're going to swim there. Now, is it always going to be a cutscene? Who knows? I mean, this looks almost shot for shot what we see in Episode 1 with, you know, Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon following Jar Jar to Ottagonga. But, I mean, how are we going to get there regularly? Kind of remains to be seen, right?
Yeah, that's clearly the cutscene for Episode 1, and it definitely makes me wonder exactly how you'll go back and forth in free play mode. Will it always be a cutscene? We don't know for sure yet, but we definitely know there will be cutscenes involved to traverse these hub locations.
Now, the next shot we get to see is of the NTT Editor. You do see in the top left-hand side of the screen, like, this is what their engine looks like. It says NTT Editor. Very cool to see these behind-the-scenes shot of this game. How many details are kind of, you know, programmed throughout this game. I'm sure none of us here can perfectly appreciate the amount of time that it took to get these scenes the way that they are in this game. So I guess this is like the perfect time just to, if any devs are watching this, like, just to profusely thank you all for you know, doing the work that you do and putting together just such a work of art here, because this really is a work of art, and Nick and I and all of our subs here at Lunar Squadron really do appreciate you. So thank you so much for that. Another cool bit here, Nick, the voice changers. This was a cool thing, right?
Yeah, this was a really cool moment. So you can see here Leia picking up a Stormtrooper helmet and putting it on, or throwing it on and spinning it around. And over the top of this footage, they actually mentioned that your characters will interact with the environment, meaning when you put a helmet on, your voice will change like you have a helmet on. So you can hear Leia's voice go from her standard, you know, voice, and then once she puts it on, you can hear it muffled by that Stormtrooper voice modulation, which is such an incredibly cool detail. We've harped on a lot over the last few months about character interaction with environment and how that helps take this game to the next level. And this was one of the coolest things for me from this trailer, was just to think of that detail is so cool. And again, this is probably dealing with the hero class's disguise, because this is going to be Leia, one of Leia's hero characters, and her putting on a disguise. We see it at work with her running her through the halls of Cloud City with a Stormtrooper outfit on. So really cool stuff here, but definitely the voice changing modulation was something that was incredibly cool to honestly find out about. Very excited about that.
And one more detail that I do want to point out about this particular scene is that when Leia puts on that helmet, you can see the Rebellion logo underneath her. Particularly, isn't this the logo that they're using for heroes in this game? I think this is the game's way of reminding the player that while you are, like, visually a Stormtrooper, your character is very much still the hero class, because there is, you know, that little icon that you're standing on, just kind of reminding the player that you are using a hero class character there. And it is also important to note that the hero class is the class that we suspected was the only class that was able to use disguises in this game. It makes perfect sense that Leia is the one who's putting on the disguise here, given that at least, you know, we know for a fact that, you know, heroes are going to be able to level up their disguises through the way of the park system in this game. So very cool stuff there. And then we get this beautiful shot from Octo, right, Nick? Like, I think that the emphasis on this point is, well, A, we get to see the Octo caretakers, which is very cool. B, how populated this shot is. And C, how beautiful this looks, right?
Yeah, we definitely haven't seen much from Octo, but it was very nice to see how populated with native populations these locations are going to be. Again, this is something we've mentioned multiple times, And to just see it even on Octo, which is like supposed to be that very remote island. Very cool. Really exciting. I love when areas are populated, so I'm very excited for that.
Now up next, we do get to see a new shot from the Oscura District, right?
Yep, we definitely do. And there's actually something really interesting we want to talk about here. A couple things we want to point out. First, behind that sign, it looks like there is a kyber brick that you can kind of jump up there and collect. You can kind of see the glow of a kyber brick illuminating from behind that sign. Again, just kind of showcases the verticality of this game. You'll be able to go up and down and all over the place. And then this location here to the right of, or at least to our right of Anakin Skywalker, that sign actually, when translated, looks like it says A New Hope, and it looks like you can enter in. There's studs leading into that location. Now, this isn't the bar that we were thinking was going to be that main location you can enter. So what exactly do we think is going on here?
It looks like, maybe it could be some sort of a hub area where you can launch a New Hope sequence. But again, from Coruscant, specifically the Oscura District, it doesn't make much sense to me. Of course, Episode 4, A New Hope, does come after, Episode 3, which is where a lot of, Coruscant sequences do take place. So I guess it does link up there. But again, we saw the Oscura District a little bit in Episode 3 with, the opera kind of scene, but mainly it is featured in Episode 2. So not sure what the link up is there, but again, very excited to get into that. The next shot that we do see is of Maz's castle on Takodana. Again, before we've seen, images from the top of the castle. This is one just confirming again that you can go all the way around inside. Like, you can see that there's an open hatch there. Clearly you can go inside of Maz's castle here. So, and then you can also scale up the side as well. So just more places to explore throughout this game. Now, what do we see next, Nick?
This appears to be one of those main story missions from A New Hope, at least footage from it, and it looks like we just see Obi-Wan, Ben Kenobi putting the Millennium Falcon back together. So it appears that we're going to have to put the Millennium Falcon back together in A New Hope, which I imagine we'll be battling off stormtroopers while trying to do so, but that's just a cool little thing. Like, it's nice to see all the little Lego pieces that you see, like, when you're building Lego sets, so that was pretty cool.
And then we get kind of a money shot from Episode 3, don't we?
Yeah, this looks just like the opening shot from the actual film. It looks like they did a really good job of recreating it. To me, what I'm excited for, and we see it later on a little bit, Jedi Starfighters from that Episode 3 era, which are at least my favorite individual ship, are confirmed. You can purchase these. You can fly these around. We see it here attacking a Trade Federation droid command ship later on. This is awesome. So Jedi Starfighter confirmed. So sick. I'm so excited about that.
I do want to point out just a few details from this Trade Federation sequence where you do see the Lucre Hulk. And it is, first of all, you can see that there's a separatist captain in the bottom right corner who appears to be talking shit directly to you, which is pretty funny. And then you also do see that there are a few weak points on the Lucre Hulk, identified by exclamation points. This kind of, the way I imagine this is going to work is just like how it used to work in classic Battlefront 2, where you would, take out a few key areas on a ship to, take it down, and then, like we've heard in the trailer, take over these. So very cool that we're going to be able to, take down and ultimately take over these capital ships in this game. It's one of the things that I'm very excited for. Up next is something that I actually really wanted to emphasize in this video, and it is that we get, I think, a first look at the minimap in this game. We do see that it will show you the general area that you are at, which is the Jundland Wastes here, and then a more specific area, which is the Sarlacc Pit. You can actually make out on the minimap a Sarlacc Pit to the right of where Chewbacca is looking, which is very cool. So we know that you can go to the Sarlacc Pit. But is this the Great Pit of Carkoon, Nick?
No, it's not, because we're actually in the Jundland Way, so it's a completely different Sarlacc Pit. And if you take a look, I just want to kind of point out the minimap. It really reminds me of that kind of GTA-style minimap. It gives you a bunch of icons and indications as to what exactly is in the surrounding area and geographical features. So this is our first actual look at the minimap that has been talked about for a few weeks now, which is really cool. And like you said, it gives you the area, like region you're in, being the Jundland Waste, and then a more specific area of that region that you're in. So you will always know exactly where you are in the galaxy.
We get a new shot of Ottagonga. I think the one thing to emphasize here is just how populated Ottagonga is, how detailed it looks, and again, the multi-level design of the city. There just appear to be so many levels here and different locations to explore. So very exciting there. Now I want to skip ahead to this shot of Darth Vader using the Force on a few battle droids. Nick, how cool is this shot where you can see like the space kind of out the windows? Like, isn't this just awesome?
Yeah, this is really cool. So clearly this is on the invisible hand above Coruscant during the Battle of Coruscant. Now, we had talked about the fact that we thought you would be able to run through the invisible hand to get to the rescue of the Chancellor, and that's exactly what it appears you're going to be doing. However, this time you are just Darth Vader taking on B-1 battle droids. There's a whole mashup of different eras here. Incredibly cool stuff. I'm so excited for this Coruscant and invisible hand stuff. Just really cool shots.
And then the next sequence that we get to see is inside of the kind of landing area on, or in Mos Eisley rather, where we have seen the Imperial shuttle before. We get to see Ben Kenobi just absolutely yeeting a few stormtroopers. Now, the next scene, we get to see something brand new, a brand new collectible in this game. If you guys missed it, I wouldn't blame you. It is a key. Now, you can see this key right next to the X-Wing, which is being lifted from the swamp. What is this key for?
It appears to have a B-Wing on it. So I'm thinking that when you collect this key, you are unlocking the key to a B-Wing, and you will unlock that as a vehicle that you can drive around. So it appears that this might be one of the ways that you will unlock vehicles that you can own throughout LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. You find these keys scattered throughout the galaxy. You collect them, you got yourself a new ride, and it looks like if you collect this key, you're getting a B-Wing, which is really cool. That is honestly a really creative way to unlock vehicles throughout the galaxy. It doesn't look like you're going to have to purchase them all the time, so that's really cool.
Yeah, like, I'm so excited for this, and obviously, like, I feel like they would hide, you know, more rare vehicles kind of in harder to reach areas. I think this also can lead us to believe that you can't, you know, go around the swamp freely. There is going to be a swamp monster in there because otherwise that key looks a little too easy to get. I wonder how we're going to ultimately get there. Now, this shot from space here teaches us so much, doesn't it, Nick? Just like right off the bat, there is going to be sort of a momentum tracker on the top. You can see which kind of gauges the air dominance or space dominance between factions. Here we see the Rebel Alliance going up against the Galactic Empire. How cool is that?
Yeah, it definitely looks like there's going to be multiple stages or different types of space encounters. Like you said here, it looks like we have a sort of momentum-based system where it's kind of just telling you who has the upper hand in the battle, whether that be the Rebel Alliance or the Galactic Empire. And then if you take a look at the next shot, it looks like we are going to be infiltrating the Steadfast. You will be leading an offensive against the Steadfast. And within this gameplay trailer, over the top, the narration of this sequence was very interesting because they're talking about how you could take on these capital ships, take down these capital ships, and then you could take over these capital ships. And these capital ships look incredibly huge on the inside because if you take a look at the very next shot, once you land within the capital ship, you are greeted by a giant ATST that you have to take down. And just look at the sheer size of this hangar. Like, this is crazy. You're telling me we're going to be able to take over and control and own this entire capital ship? That's pretty nuts.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much to get to about capital ships in this game. It's almost worth doing an entire video on. You know what? I think we might just do that. Let us know in the comments if you want to see that. Another detail worth noting here is, as you know, any class, you could just pick up thermal detonators. We haven't really seen this pickup mechanic before, but you do see that, you know, you are able or given the option to just pick up a thermal detonator there and then throw it at this ATST here, which is very cool. Now, kind of moving forward, Nick, you did mention this, that there were chrome items throughout the trailer. This is just yet another one that you see that Han Solo is using. And you do see a little smuggler icon in the right side of the screen, kind of pointing towards the right direction, not particularly at that chrome feature, but just in general toward the right, kind of leads us to believe that these arrows will tell us where we are going to need particular classes in this game, which is very cool. Now, the final shot that I want to get to in this video, just because of how long we're going, again, we are going to do a lot of different breakdowns here, more in depth of certain segments of this trailer, but it is this space sequence, which kind of tells us a lot of what we were speculating on in prior trailers, specifically regarding these unidentified flying objects, and we even got a brand new location on Tatooine.
Yeah, we sure did. So in the interview after the fact, they mentioned that they had 23 total planets and 28 landing locations scattered throughout, and we get a look at some of them in the shot. We see a couple new areas confirmed, like Junlin Waste, which was one area that we were speculating in our Tatooine breakdown, and then obviously we see Mos Espa there. And then they don't really name some of the other locations, but we can all assume the other one there is Mos Eisley, if that's Mos Espa. We also get a nice little look at the Steadfast that they indicate, and I want to take it back to that UFO that you had mentioned. We've seen this icon previously, but we had never seen what exactly it was pointing to. It was a brick with like rockets coming out of it from behind, and we weren't quite sure what exactly we were dealing with. But to me, Andreas, this looks like some sort of like comet or asteroid or some sort of space body that I'm guessing once you blow up and destroy, it will drop either some sort of like kyber brick or loot that you can collect, because to me, that makes the most sense here. I'm not quite sure what exactly we're looking at here, like a capsule. It's definitely that UFO territory, but that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking you blow this thing up and you'll get some loot or a kyber brick out of it, just to, help you along your way.
That is everything from our broad overview, which is, just as a testament to how much we just got. There is so much to talk about here, and Nick and I really do intend on doing a further breakdown series, as we always do, of all of this new information. Please let us know in the comments down below what you guys made of this IGN Fan Fest event. Were you happy? Were you pleased with this? Or did you wish that we got something a bit different? I think I can speak for Nick and myself in saying that we are very appreciative for all of this new content and all of the new gameplay. I think this is well going to kind of hold us over until April 5th. So very exciting stuff here. However, that is going to do it for this one. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, we will see you all next time.